Coming up next on MT10 News, we have a live reporter at a vigil for the Las Vegas shooting in Nashville.
And hear about a local drug-related explosion.
Also, stay tuned for your latest in MTSU Blue Raider football.
All those stories plus your latest weather, MT10 News starts right now. Thank you for joining us this evening. I'm Kristen Gallant.
And I'm Jayana Scurry. Welcome to MT10 News. We have new developments in the Las Vegas shooting. Overnight, there was a major shooting in Las Vegas, killing 59 people and injuring more than 500 who were enjoying the last night of the Route 91 Harvest Festival. This has been deemed the deadliest shooting in modern U.S. history. The shooter, 64-year-old Stephen Paddock, was found dead at the scene on the 32nd floor of the Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino. He busted two different windows in which he shot the victims from. Two victims of the massacre were Tennessee residents. President Trump tweeted out his condolences earlier today.
Well, Nashville is holding their own vigil for victims of the Las Vegas mass shooting. Reporter Emily Gibbons is live on the scene.
Yes, Jayana and Kristen, I'm actually here live in Nashville at the Ascend Amphitheater where there's a vigil going on tonight to remember those whose lives were tragically taken in that Las Vegas shooting. I just heard some recent numbers, and it's almost 60 people's lives that were lost. And that's such a tragedy, and Nashville just has such a close respect with Las Vegas. You think with it being on the other side of the country, it would just be something else to mourn, but in Nashville, we had country superstars that grew up here in Nashville that were over there in Las Vegas performing when this tragedy happened. Now, I just heard Mayor Megan Barry speak, and she talked about how last Monday they also had a vigil at the same place to mourn that shooting in the Burnett Church. And she was just talking about how the Nashville community has such a power to come together when it happens to tragic events like this. And so she said she wasn't excited to be here tonight, but she was excited that Nashville was able to come together and just be here for the people and to be just people that victims could come to and know that they were just here with tonight. Keith Urban's performing behind me, and that's what's going on here in Nashville tonight. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thank you, Emily. Be sure to stay tuned tomorrow night for updates on this tragic story.
Two bodies found in burned cars has a small community of Cheatham County scared. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation has not released any information on the matter, possibly fueling the first for rumors to be spread. This post, claiming a third body had been found and the killer was targeting women, had been shared over 800 times before being removed. In response, the county sheriff challenged these claims, saying the bodies are believed to have been from Nashville to be disposed.
Well, on Friday, a man robbed a bank disguised as a woman. The man entered the North Nashville Bank at 4:15 p.m. He slipped a note to the teller who complied with the demand. The man escaped by foot. The wig, dress, and scarf were found outside of the bank. Authorities are still searching for him. Anyone with information is urged to call Crime Stoppers.
A 17-year-old teen has reportedly been shot at a mobile home park in Antioch on Saturday night. Around 11:24 p.m., he was outside one of the lots when he was shot by unknown suspects. He was soon taken to Vanderbilt University Medical Center by the Nashville Fire Department for treatment.
Murfreesboro police received a call on Sunday regarding an explosive incident on South Church Street. Officers found a man behind a Tiger Mart with severe burns on his upper body. He was taken to the Burn Medical Center in Vanderbilt. Police have confirmed that the man was from the America's Best Value Inn on Church Street, where he had a meth lab in his room. There was clear evidence of an explosion in the room where furniture was charred. The Tennessee Meth and Pharmaceutical Task Force was there on the scene of the explosion.
I mean, it's crazy, but I mean, we just got here, so I have to maybe move probably because a lot of people will know about it, I guess.
A military aircraft has been reported crashed in the Cherokee National Forest on Sunday, October the 1st. The federal authorities have assumed the crash was fatal. The U.S. Navy officials confirmed it was a T-45 aircraft based out of Meridian, Mississippi. The aircraft was training and had not returned to the air station. They also confirmed their missing aircraft had 2 pilots on board, and the status of both is unknown.
2 of 5 escaped teens from a juvenile detention facility in Nashville remain on the run. At around 2:30 a.m. on Saturday, 5 escapees hit a female security guard, then took her key and climbed the fence, escaping from the facility on Stewart's Ferry Pike. 3 of the escapees were captured later in the morning. The police are still looking for 16-year-old Kiwan Waller and 17-year-old Cornelius Moore.
2 young men charged for a hate crime of the Islamic Center of Murfreesboro. Monday, July 10th, vandalism was found at the Islamic Center of Murfreesboro. Hate messages were found spray painted in green at 3 locations, and bacon was placed at the entrance of the school. Bacon is prohibited among the Islamic community. Volunteers of Rutherford County gathered together to help clean up the graffiti, and the center has a plan for mere security. 18-year-old Charles Dwight Stout III and 19-year-old Thomas Avery Gibbs were charged for the vandalism and have a possibility of facing 1 year in prison. The members of the center hope this incident will send a positive impact through negative events.
Learn about us. They're welcome to come and meet with us. You know, our center, like you went there, is always open, welcoming to anybody who want to come and see who we are, how we pray, or learn from us about our religion.
New breakthrough in cancer treatment appeared this week in MTSU research. MTSU graduate students and their partner, MED Medical University in China, are responsible for this new information. Their breakthrough? A compound referred to as DMDD. The research does indicate that DMDD was significant potential as a safe and effective therapeutic agent to treat metastatic breast cancer, according to DAO, who filed for the patent in 2015. Well, today's weather was a little cooler, I felt, in the air. It was a little nicer walking to class.
It was. I did enjoy the cloud coverage. Well, join us now for our first look at weather.
Thanks, guys. So you're exactly right. We're starting to see some little sprinkles of fall in the air. We have experienced much cooler temperatures. Right now, as you can see, we're at about 72, but this morning we were down in the low 60s and it felt really nice outside. But it did start to warm up around lunchtime and we hit a high of 78, and we experienced a little bit of rain right after lunch, and that did bring our temperatures down a little bit, about to where we are now. And that has just continued, and the temperatures stayed pretty consistent throughout the day. Tonight, those temperatures will start to go down, though, again, back down to the 60s. As you can see, the wind was just 5 miles an hour today, so it didn't have much effect on the weather, but the humidity was at 66%, so it left the air a little bit sticky. And like I said, we did have those pop-up showers today, but we'll get into that a little bit later. For now, I'm going to toss it back to the desk.
Thanks, Lauren. And still ahead on MT10 News, found out how Trump's new tax reform plan can affect local small businesses.
And 3 U.S. scientists have won a very prestigious award. That's coming up next on MT10 News. Well, Burnett Chapel returned for their first service after the tragic shooting. Church member Danny Carter led the congregation on Wednesday. This was the first time the members came together since the shooting to hold a service in the church.
Tennessee Governor Bill Haslam is considering running for a U.S. Senate seat. Current Senator Bob Corker announced that he will not be running for re-election next year. Haslam stressed that he loves being governor and values public service and says he will give the decision a lot of thought. Haslam has not given a timetable for when he will make his final decision.
Famous rock star Tom Petty is on life support. The 66-year-old frontman of Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers suffered a full cardiac arrest. He was found unconscious and not breathing in his Malibu home on Sunday night. He was taken to UCLA Santa Monica Hospital and put on life support. Initially, he was reported dead, but now the LAPD said it cannot be confirmed.
3 U.S. scientists have won the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine. This award comes from the discoveries of molecular mechanisms controlling the circadian rhythm, or in simpler terms, our biological clock. Jeffrey Hall, Michael Rosbash, and Michael Young were awarded the prize. They use fruit flies to research how plants, humans, and animals adapt their biological rhythm to synchronize with our planet's day and night cycle.
The National Pan-Hellenic Council Step Show is one of the largest events during homecoming week. NPHC at Middle Tennessee State University has produced their Step Show since 1980. This event brings 4,000 people to the Murphy Center each year. Both sororities and fraternities within NPHC compete against each other for the $1,000 prize and first place trophy. This show will be October 6th.
We've been practicing since the summer. We meet up and practice every night, and we practice, well, at the beginning we'll practice Sunday through Thursday, and then Fridays and Saturday we kind of get a break, so everybody's not practicing every single day, but then we would take days just to kind of get ideas together and stuff like that, just so when we do have the step show that it's like a show.
Monday, we'll tell you about a daughter who is carrying on her family legacy by competing in this step show.
Passing tax reform is at the forefront for the Trump administration, and as reporter Thomas Capps tells us, the new proposal could affect local businesses here in Middle Tennessee.
Small businesses are a vital part of our economy in Middle Tennessee. On a national scale, they account for more than 60% of new jobs created. A key aspect of being a small business owner, though, is paying taxes, which can be confusing and burdensome. But that could all change soon.
We're here today to launch our plans to bring back Main Street by reducing the crushing tax burden on our companies and on our workers.
Last week, the Trump administration introduced a new tax reform plan that would cut taxes, simplify the tax code, and introduce small business incentives. One of the ways the proposal would simplify the tax code is it would take the current 7 tax brackets and shrink them down to 3, making the percentages 35, 25, and 12% depending on the taxpayer's income.
Small business to me is the backbone to our nation's economy.
For local small business owner Kevin Elrod, lower taxes would mean expansion and overall growth for his cabinet shop in Rockville.
There's just a number of things you could reinvest, take that money and reinvest in your own business to help with growth and help the local economy.
Down the road in McMinnville, Scott Kelly and his wife Susie own small businesses of their own. Scott says lowering taxes wouldn't only help small businesses, but also improve the tax system as a whole.
If the government wants more tax money, the best way to get more tax money is with more taxpayers, not more or higher taxes.
Like all small business owners, Scott and Kevin just want a tax plan that will help them keep more of their hard-earned money and give them the opportunity to grow their businesses for the future.
For every business you see, they started small.
In the Mid-State, Thomas Capps, MT10 News.
The proposal will be written into a bill and voted on by Congress in the coming months. Still ahead on MT10 News, a local band held a competition to raise funds for their program.
And Nashville might be getting a $250 soccer stadium.
For an extended look at your 7-day forecast, stay tuned after the break.
Well, Kristen, the weather has dropped and the temperatures have dropped, but it looks like it's going to rise right back up.
Well, I can take the heat as long as there's no rain in the forecast. Lauren Hennessy has more on weather.
Well, guys, we may be needing some of that rain, but as you can see here for your weather updates, we have been having these high temperatures still throughout the day, but at nighttime we are going down into the cooler temperatures, and that's leading us into this cold and flu season. So with the drastic difference between daytime and nighttime temperatures, allergies and the flu and cold are starting to flare up. I've already caught a cold, but as you can see, there is no rain in the forecast. If we can go ahead and take a look at this map, though, it is going to be a little bit of a problem. As you can see, all of these states, not only Tennessee, but in the southeastern region, up the eastern coast, all of these states have been experiencing lower rainfalls than ever, not necessarily ever before, but we need some rain. We've had little rainfall, and farmers, I know crops are starting to need this rain as well, but it's not coming anytime soon. A look at the national radar, as you can see, Tennessee, we have hardly anything going on down there, but down here around Louisiana and New Orleans, they have a storm system, thunderstorms down there. And up in around Montana and in the west, they are having completely different weather than we are here. It's quite cold, and the blue, that is rain mixed with just a little bit of snow. So we've had these warm temperatures and no rain, and they're having the complete opposite up there. But back to Middle Tennessee, this is tonight's forecast, the lows. We are going to have some cloud coverage. As you can see, Nashville, we're going to be at about 62, Shelbyville 61, my hometown of McMinnville, you're going to be seeing about 58, Jamestown 54. And tomorrow's forecast, like I said, we are going to be going right back up into those 80s. Nashville 83, over there in Crossville 75, Shelbyville 80, Clarksville 82. So cloud coverage across the state, but those temperatures are still going to be rising. And on into your 7-day forecast. So for Tuesday, 83, 55 is going to be your low. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, on into your weekend, the temperatures are going to be around 80 and the lows in the low 60s, high 50s. So still that drastic difference, and just be aware of that when you're getting ready in the mornings. Cloud coverage is going to be continuing on through the week, but we're still going to have some great temperatures. Go out and enjoy this weather. We're going to have a beautiful week and hopefully some rain coming up soon. I'm Lauren Hennessy with the weather. I'm going to toss it back to the desk.
Thank you, Lauren. The Siegel High School Marching Band hosted the 3rd annual Stones River Championship competition after the band program turned 15 this year. 18 bands competed for the survival of the fittest, or the grand champion, but survival of the band program is more fitting. The Siegel Band started hosting these contests to raise money for the operational cost of the band program.
The proceeds from ticket sales and other items throughout the day, concessions and vendors and those types of things, go to the daily operation costs and expenditures of the Siegel Band. It's vital to the running of the band program.
Proceeds from the band competition helps pay for many band needs, including instruments, uniforms, color guard equipment, and also helps with trip expenses.
We go all over the place. We recently went to the Bahamas for our spring trip last year, and we went to Washington, D.C. 2 years ago. We've been to Orlando, Dollywood. We've been all over the place.
Band staff members and student performers see the importance of competitions and having band programs in schools.
It teaches the children a sense of community. It teaches them how to win with dignity and lose with grace, and it also just teaches them that working together for a common goal can be supported by people that you don't even know.
Band competitions mean more than just performing, cheering, and receiving awards. It means supporting a band program. This year's competition was the most profitable contest in the 3 years. Also, Munford High School won the band competition and were the grand champions.
Nashville Mayor Megan Barry proposed a deal for a new Major League Soccer stadium worth $250 million. The proposal is designed to have Nashville as one of 4 cities selected to have new expansion teams in the MLS. The bond covering the cost will not go through unless Nashville is officially awarded a team. Mayor Barry stated, "A Major League Soccer franchise represents an incredible opportunity for Nashville to continue its growth and take its place on the global stage."
Still ahead on MT10 News, find out how well the Blue Raiders soccer team did against Florida International.
Also, stay tuned for the latest in Tennessee Titans football. That's coming up next.
Well, the MTSU tennis team did well this weekend.
That's what I hear. Jonas Sage has more in sports.
You're absolutely right, Kristen. The MTSU tennis team hosted the Coach LaLance Showdown last weekend, bringing in teams such as TSU, Troy, and Belmont. Overall, the Blue Raiders did play pretty well, going for a 10-4 overall record during their 3-day stretch. Standout performer was Gian Issa, who won all 6 of his matches. Only 4 members of the team participated in the event, with the other teammates going to the ITA All-American in Oklahoma, where they will be competing until October 6th. After that, the team will meet up back in Kentucky for the Louisville Scramble on October 13th. MTSU soccer played an exciting overtime game over this weekend against Florida International. FIU jumped to an early lead as they scored in the 21st minute. The Blue Raiders answered back with Peyton Dupree scoring right before halftime. Both teams went scoreless in the second half, sending them into overtime. It didn't last long, however, as Dupree scored her second goal of the game to win it for the Blue Raiders 2-1. Dupree has had a great season thus far, scoring 8 goals on the year. MTSU will host Western Kentucky this Friday. In softball, the Blue Raiders played Trevecca over the weekend. Both teams played great defense in the early innings. The Trojans struck first as they scored 1 run in the top of the third. MTSU, meanwhile, was struggling to get on the board, but they heated up in the 6th inning, scoring 6 runs. The next inning, Danny Munoz crushes the ball as she hits a home run, tacking on 3 more runs. The Blue Raiders destroy Trevecca 14-1. And MTSU will host Volunteer State this Sunday. After beating Bowling Green, Middle Tennessee football looked to start a winning streak this past weekend against Florida Atlantic. MTSU already had a winning streak of their own against FAU, defeating them for 9 consecutive years. Unfortunately, the streak ended there as FAU went on to defeat the Blue Raiders 38-20. MTSU's defense struggled against the run, with FAU running back Devin Singletary rushing for 133 yards and 4 touchdowns. On the offensive side, quarterback John Urzua had a mixed game, filling in for Brent Stockstill, throwing 2 touchdowns but 3 interceptions. MTSU drops to 2-3 on the season and will look to get back to an even record this weekend at home against Florida International. That's all for the MT10 Sports. I'm Jonas H. Back to the desk.
Thanks, Jonas, and thank you for joining us this evening. I'm Kristen Gallant.
And I'm Jana Scurry. Well, I hope you...
It is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and that's why we're wearing our pink.
Yes.
So thank you for joining us this evening. We'll see you again tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow.
And hopefully the weather is good again tomorrow.